Hello everyone, this is the Archfiend and I am back. I am back here on YouTube to make videos for you guys. Told you all that I'd be taking a little vacation here. Basically I went to Philadelphia and then up to my sister's place in Pittsburgh and then up to Sandusky, Ohio to go to Cedar Point because I've never been there and I'm a damn coaster enthusiast and it's an absolute insult that I've never been there. So anyways, yeah, I got a little bit around the country here and as promised I'm giving you a little trip report here and I would have made that shit last night, but since YouTube decides to put everything on a standstill when they do a site maintenance in the middle of rush hour traffic, yeah, I couldn't upload it last night. Anyways, people, I hope you enjoy this, and as I said, my first stop of my vacation here was in Philadelphia, and this is the infamous Arch Street that you're looking at, and that's me standing on the corner of Arch Street, and of course, another location in Philadelphia on Arch Street is the police station, which I just feel so honored that there's a police station on Arch Street. And Philadelphia is also home to Independence Hall, which I'm sure you all know is where the Declaration of Independence was signed. And basically, it's also notoriously known for having park benches that are to be jumped over. And hell yeah, I jumped that park bench. Anyways, next part of our trip took us to my sister's house in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I had a good time there, and we did some fun things, and
Sister.
also took
Yeah,
some
we know
video
her.
there. That
Anyways,
I'll just let you
my
guys
sister
take
has a
look
dog
at
by the name of Brimley, which is this little guy right here. And Brimley left a present on the ground. Isn't that wonderful? What do you have to say for yourself, Brimley? You better run away. I'll smash your face into that. Alright. And that's my sister's dog, so she's gonna be giving it away. Anyone that wants a cute little pug, I will mail it to anywhere in the country free of charge. So just leave me your information and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, it's my sister's dog for you. And anyways, we had a good time there, and we just bullshitted all night, and it was good times. And yeah, I mean that was pretty much the extent of everything that happened there that night.
In fact, the only party in the vicinity is the one down the street, and I'm not even invited to it.
I'd rather let my mom and tell you so fucking petty. I'd rather suck fucking dude's dick than tell you so fucking horrible. It's so sucks. I'd rather fucking let the dude back on and tell you so fucking complete shit. I'd rather fucking have a dude jizz in my face than play this game, okay?
Moving right along, the next day of our trip took us to Sandusky, Ohio, which of course is home to Cedar Point. And what I'm going to do here, people, is I'm just going to scroll through some of the pictures I took while I was in the park and give you my recap of the day and what I thought of the park. It's a theme park that I've never been to, and I've been meaning to get there pretty much my entire life. So, yeah, this was a pretty big day and one of the few places in the world I actually wanted to get to. And so, yeah, let's get to it. As you see here, I'm not too thrilled with the new ride that they have planned there in 2010, so I had to leave my opinion about what I think about adding another wet ride into a dry ride park, but you know how I feel about that already from my theme park rant part 2. But overall for this park, I gotta say I was pretty much amazed. This is hands down the single best coaster collection in any park that I've ever been to. I mean, just the end-to-end assortment of just high-impact coasters to just, old classics was phenomenal. I mean, just from what I've seen and read and been to in other parks, it's unmatched. It is just totally unmatched. This day that we went was quite possibly one of the most beautiful park days. It was 75 degrees, barely a cloud in the sky, perfect weather, great atmosphere at the park. The employees were great. I didn't get, kicked out of line to get in the park, so that's always a positive. And like I said, just a great overall day in general. And on top of all that, the thing that made the best was there wasn't a single ride that we waited any more than 10 minutes to get on. I'm talking about we went on Top Thrill Dragster back to back and waited maybe a combined total of 8 minutes. And by the way, that's a beautiful shot of Lake Erie there, taken from the top of the lift hill of Millennium Force. And this coaster right here, this is a coaster that I was not expecting a lot out of. And Gemini ended up being one of the big surprise rides of the day because I'd always seen Gemini and I heard people talk about Gemini and I was like, yeah, you know what, this is a coaster I'm probably going to end up skipping if I'm rushed to get through the park and get on other rides, but yeah, it was a pretty cool ride, and that is a sexy picture of one of the best coasters in the park. That of course is Millennium Force. That is probably the coaster that I wanted to get on the most when I went there the other day, but I was actually surprised that it did not impress me as much as I thought it was going to. So I was kind of a little shocked by that. Great ride overall, don't get me wrong. I mean, the drop on that, I will give it credit. That is hands down the best single first drop that I've ever been on any coaster. And I love the ride and all, and that's a good shot too, which Christina's hand slipped right up and kind of ruined it. But anyways, that's okay, Christina. It was a good ride, but my hands down, my favorite coaster is Maverick. Just overall enjoyed that ride a little bit better, and flat rides, of course, at this park were phenomenal. That's Max Air right there, and that's a ride that I almost threw up on, so that's a sign of a good ride. Crazy ride. Coasters there are phenomenal, as I said, and yeah, get there, go there, and ride your ass off, because coaster enthusiasts are going to love it, and I just could not believe just how few people were there. It was so awesome. Thank you, start of the NFL season, and thank you for school being back in session. And that, of course, is a shot of Raptor. Phenomenal coaster. Inverted coasters always rule. That's a genuine rule of thumb. There's some that are better or worse than others. You may know this as the typical Batman coaster. The reason why people call it that is there's the typical Batman coasters that started in the Six Flags franchise, and they got cookie cuttered pretty much everywhere else in the country, and they're all identical. This coaster, however, includes some unique elements, stuff that just makes it unique and not that typical cookie cutter Batman ride. And I loved it. I thought it was a great ride. It is kind of weak, and someone who I went with who didn't like it too much, who will remain nameless, Christina, didn't like the fact that it had a brake run on the coaster, and I kind of agree. The brake run did really make it kind of weaker, and it slowed it down, but still a good ride nonetheless. And oh boy, here we go. This is Corkscrew. This is a coaster that goes 35 miles per hour, and if you believe it or not, this coaster ended my day in the park. Now, being that it was so empty and all, I got on pretty much everything I wanted to, some rides more than once. I mean, I got on a good, I would say about, 15 to 20 coaster rides in. My day ended on this coaster, and here's the reason why. It's a little corkscrew part here. I was in the very back. I did not have my head back against the headrest. When it hit this part, it goes just fast enough to buck back the very back seat, or the very back car, however you want to look at it. And the more farther back you are on the train, the more you're going to be feeling it. Anyways, people, to make a long story short, I slammed the back of my head so hard that my face was literally numb when I got off this ride. I tried, playing it off like it was nothing. I mean, I've been hit in the head before, and then I later came to realize that I'd never been hit this hard in my head in my life. I got so dazed from this ride, and I, like I said, went off and went on more rides after this. It got to the point that I just started throwing up. Not from a stomach nausea, but just from having my brain rattled. And I was getting sensitive to light. I just told everyone else I was with, I was like, just go on and keep riding stuff here. I'm going to lay down in my car, and I took a nap and never came back in the park. That aside, still enjoyed all the coasters. This coaster kicked my ass, though. And on top of that, look at what happened to my arms. My shoulders got screwed the hell up. I mean, this park is intense, and if you start marathoning the coasters the way that me and everyone else did that day, you're probably going to get your ass kicked too. I mean, even my knee was a little worse for the wear. So, basically to sum things up, it was a great day, it was a great weekend, and everything was all good in the hood except for the fact that I almost died, and I still, to this point in time, can feel my brain throbbing against the back of my skull. So, thank you to everyone. Thank you to Rachel, Tim, Justin, Christina, and even IGSRJ, because he signed my copy of Super Mario Bros. 3, and I'm going to put that shit on eBay because it's a worthless game to me, and it's now an even more worthless game to me. So if anyone wants that, they can bid for it. And yeah, thank you all for watching this, and I got some more videos coming out in the very near future, including another one that I'm going to try and squeeze out tonight for you guys, possibly tomorrow at the latest. I'm not going to pull a, well, I'm not going to mention his name, but there's someone who I don't speak about anymore who makes claims about videos and then doesn't follow through with them. So yes, anyways, take care, people. Oh, and guess what? There's a new profile picture on the Archfiend channel here on YouTube. Enjoy it, people. Peace!